Yeah, I shaved my head. Anyways, man, I'm pulled up on the side of the road because I want to talk about how Muay Thai really is one of the greatest forms of self-discovery. The first time I ever did my fights, they put me up against a Thai who maybe had around 100 fights, and you can't really know how experienced they are. But it was way more than my zero, right? And there was no mental preparation. There was no, warnings about my coaches or anything like that. They were just like, all right, you're going to do your first fight. It was an opponent change, actually. The guy on the poster was not the same person as the opponent I saw in the stadium, So that fucked with me mentally a little bit. And there was no like, hey, this is normal, whatever you're feeling is. There was just like no mental support whatsoever. And it turned out to be one of the biggest eye-openers for me, because it taught me that I really believe that fight and all fights are a symbolism of the fact that in life, nobody can fight for you but yourself. Nobody can save you. Nobody can fend for you. You're the one who has to take the risks, who has to risk getting hurt and punched, right? And go after what it is that you want. Because if you're just waiting for handouts your entire life, has that gotten you anywhere so far? Probably not. I'm not here to assume anything, but it certainly hasn't for me, right? I was working a job, several jobs I wasn't really aligned with. I was working in corporate sales, shoving non-working products, just shit products, selling them to people, saying it's going to solve their problems when it wasn't. And I was doing that on behalf of a company that was really making massive amounts of revenue over me breaking my back and like kind of breaking my own ethical boundaries about how I want to deal with people, And that's why I think fighting is there's one more thing that I want to bring up. It's the fact that fighting makes you feel a real stress. So throughout my corporate jobs, I was always just constantly under stress because of needing to hit quota, working for like these really high growth, super aggressive startups, or like these VCs are just like funding them, and like the shareholders are basically just like playing roulette and like gambling, and therefore they're just like, you better become profitable by this time, otherwise we're gonna fuck you. Or just like the lamest dynamics ever. Like, I'm not here to talk trash about people who like to work for these types of companies, but in my opinion, it's like, it's just a cuck move to want to like, to be excited, to be like that low of a decision maker and to be exploited to that extent. It's just such a cuck move. But anyways, that's not what this is about. The point is that within that structure, I was just constantly in chronic stress because I always felt like I was behind on targets. I always felt like I was behind on everything. People were doing better than me because of whatever reasons, better sales skills, better leads and accounts, like whatever. And so I was just like constantly in like this like stress mode, right? And it was so not worth it. It's so not worth it. When you think about it, you have such a short time span to live. And if you're dedicating like the majority of your 20s or 30s or whatever time, it doesn't even matter if it's within the 20s or 30s, just the fact that you're dedicating several years, months to years, to being like exploited by these types of shareholders and working for these types of companies, it's just, for me, it's just completely unaligned. It feels like a waste of life. It feels like exploitation and a waste of life. And I want to be the actor and the decision maker of my own life, And yeah, I'm taking massive risks now. I've moved to Thailand, haven't had a job in like a year and a half. I'm making money, I help people quit smoking through Muay Thai. I coach people how to overcome their addictions to smoking and vaping by taking on fighter training and developing a fighter mindset and a fighter identity. Because that's what it really comes down to at the end when you want to break any addiction, even one that's as addictive as smoking. It's about identity shift, not willpower. That's how I quit my 10-year addiction and became a fighter. What I'm trying to say is, like, life isn't very secure for me, but at least it's meaningful, and at least I'm fighting. I've had 7 fights here in Thailand, with many more to come, and it's the growth continues. Not just the skill set in terms of fighting, but the mental and spiritual growth. It just continues, and I keep getting more and more surprised about what I keep learning about myself as I do this sport, and as I really immerse myself into the life mode that I want to live. Anyways, that's my ramble for tonight. Take care, guys.